In this question, we're asked to find the slope of an equation of the tangent line to the curve y is equal to the square root of x plus 3 at the point x is equal to 4. Okay, so let's use our new equation that we learned in the last part for the slope of a line. So the slope, m, is going to be the limit as x approaches a of f of x minus f of a over x minus a. All right, so let's review what these things are, right? So if you're getting a little confused with the x's and the a's, a is just an actual value, right? Like this is like the value that we're talking about. And in this case, it's 4, right? Like that's going to be our a value. So two of these aren't so confusing. So we're going to be just filling in instead of an a. That's going to be a 4. And if you remember f of a, that's like the y value at a. So that one's not that mysterious either, right? And then f of x, well, that's usually like an equation, and that's going to be, that's our f of x. So let's kind of fill that in now. So we can say m is equal to the limit as x approaches, let's do x approaches 4, right? So I know what that is. And then instead of f of x, right, this was f of x. This was our function. Okay, so I'm gonna write that in too. So this is going to be the square root of x plus 3. Okay, and now minus. Okay, so now f of a. Well, I don't actually know f of a offhand, right? But we can do that. We've been doing that for a while now, right? So let's say f of 4, right? We want to know what the y value is when x is 4 of the square root of 4 plus 3. Okay, so f of 4 would really be 2, right? 2 plus 3. So this is really 5. All right, so that's what this is here. This is really just going to be 5. Okay, over, and now this would be, just remains x, right? Just x, and then minus, and then the x value is 4. All right, not too bad, right? We're getting a little simpler here. So now let's, one more time here. So now we'll say the limit. Actually, I'll just say this is equal to the limit as x approaches 4. And now I'm just going to combine our 3 and our 5 here. So we end up with an expression square root of x minus 2 over x minus 4. All right, so then we just have to take the limit of that. But you might be seeing the problem here already, right? If I throw 4 in for x and just take this limit directly, we're going to have, well, the square root of 4 is 2. So 2 minus 2 is, so this will be 0. And then 4 minus 4 is 0. So I got a 0 over 0 scenario. So it's in an indeterminate state. But we've done questions like this, right? So what we're going to do here is rationalize this thing. And it's a little bit opposite because usually we rationalize the denominator, but let's try rationalizing the numerator. All right. So we're going to multiply this by the conjugate pair, so we can get rid of that square root. So this will be the square root of x plus 2 on the top and the bottom. Square root of x plus 2. Okay. And now I'm really trying to, I'm really hoping I can cancel this x plus 4 in the bottom, right? So I'm going to leave the bottom factored, right? And I'm just going to expand the top. So again, we have the limit as x approaches 4 of, and if we expand that out, we end up getting, are you guys okay if I skip this, if you've done this enough times in your career, if we said that this is all equal to x minus 4, right? If we do that, so the top would simplify to x minus 4, which is perfect, over x minus 4, and then we still have square root of x plus 2 in the denominator. All right, so we get to cancel those, and we end up with the limit as x approaches 4 of, now this is 1 over the square root of x plus 2. And if we plug in x for 4, we end up getting 1 over the square root of 4 plus 2, which is equal to 1 over 4. So our slope is 1 over 4. All right, so sometimes we can get a little lost in what we're actually looking for here too. So what did we just find? Remember, we found the slope of the line tangent to this equation when x is 4. And if you need like a little, let's just sketch that quick so you make sure you know what we're talking about here, right? So in this case, the square root of x, would look like this, right? And it's been lifted up 3, it's to be something like that. And when x is 4, maybe it's like some point here. So what we just found was the slope of this line, like right here, right? Of this tangent line going to that point. So perfect, we have that. And now the second part here says, what's the equation of that line? All right, so the equation of that line, what would we need? Well, if we used the equation, like the point slope form equation, right? Y minus y1 is equal to slope times x minus x1, if you remember that from math 10, then all we really need here is we really just need the slope of the line, right? Which we just found. That's what we found when we found the limit there, right? And then we just need a point, so a y and an x value. Well, we have all those things. We know the slope is 1 over 4, and we know that there's a point here of 4, not x, 4, comma, and then we found f of 4 was 5, so that's the point. Okay, so let's plug it all in. So we got y minus, and then our y value there was 5, is equal to, our slope was 1 over 4, and then it's x, and then minus 4. All right, now it says that we can write it in either slope-intercept or general or point slope. So yeah, we're in point slope, so that actually is just the answer right there. But let's convert it now just for good measure. So let's put it into general. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by 4 just to clear that fraction out. So if I multiply this by 4, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both terms on this side by 4. So those cancel. So we get 4y minus 20 is equal to, and now the 4's are gone, right? So now we just have x minus 4. So now in general form, if you remember, general form is like this. It's ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So technically, you should have the positive, like your x should be positive. So since x is already positive over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything else over to this side. So let's bring the 4y over. So we get negative 20 is equal to x. And then when I bring this over, this will be minus 4y minus 4. And then I'll bring the 20 over as well. So now I have 0 is equal to x minus 4y. And then plus 16. There you go. Oh, y, sorry. Okay. And now if we want to write this in slope-intercept form, then that's just y is equal to mx plus b. Y is equal to mx plus b. So in this version, we just have y on its own. So why don't we bring this 4y back over? So now we've got 4y is equal to x plus 16. And then I'm just going to divide everything by 4. So divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. So we get y is equal to, and I'm going to change this to 1 over 4 x plus 4.